one of the hardest things I've done is interviewing, especially for programming jobs. And interviewing for these programming jobs is different than most other industries because they test your technical knowledge. They question you. They make sure you can do your job. Whereas other kind of jobs, they mostly interview for fit, make sure you fit in the company culture, have good characteristics, because you usually have some other credential that show you can do a job, like a licensing, a degree, and this is pretty standardized across the industry. Like I remember I got my degrees in business coming out of undergrad and grad school, and the jobs I applied to, only really once they were asking about accounting technical skills, and there was just one question during the interview, but most of the time they just ask for fit. And then when I applied to programming jobs, this was a big difference, and they were screened heavily for you. So I wanted to make you this video today as I talk about 3 things that I wish I have known before I started interviewing for jobs that would have helped me get through the process so much better, because I had to go through a lot of rejections from this process. It wasn't like, oh, if I only got an interview, I can convince them that I can do the job. It was I got the interviews and I still got rejected from them. I'm actually here filming today from Jeju Island. It's been raining all week, but it has a nice cloudy feel, so it doesn't get too hot. Just coding at a coffee shop pretty much all day today, and I had a couple of meetings. So the first thing that I wish I've known about, like, applying for these jobs, is that you have to think from their perspective. So think, if you're an engineering team, what would you look for in an engineer that you will hire? So think of what they want. Maybe you've done a group project before, work on a teams, or any kind of group situation. What would make you want someone on your team? And yeah, being competent is one thing, but another thing is your mentality. Are you gonna not just be competent, but you actually have to pull your own weight? They don't want to have someone on the team where they just do the job for them. So you have to communicate to them that you pull your own weight. You do this by talking about the stories you've done, showing your projects that you've coded. You have to show not just you pull your own weight, that you're like a team player. When you are developing on a team, you're collaborating, and you have to be willing to express your thoughts, your opinions, your critiques. They want you to hear your thoughts, so you have to communicate to them. They want someone that is fun to work with, and fun as in you're someone who is excited to work. You have a good attitude. You're positive. You show this by also asking questions, by being curious. You wanting to learn, and you can easily do this during interviews by asking them about themselves, about different programming concepts, about their projects that they've worked on. So you have to be somebody that you want to work with. And then the second thing is that you have to be able to take initiative. The nature of the job is different, where in engineering you're giving a ticket, or think of it as a project, and then you have to take your own initiative to figure out how to do that project. This degree of entrepreneurship within being a developer. So it's on your own to figure out how you want to accomplish that task in a project, and you can code it whatever way that you think best fits for the job. So a lot of times you take a ticket not knowing how to solve it. So you have to take initiative and do research. You have to learn about what's needed to do the project. Sometimes you have to study new technologies. Sometimes you have to study code base on the business so you can understand it. Sometimes you have to schedule meetings with people, stakeholders involved, asking other engineers that coded that part, asking people from different departments, messaging them on Slack. So you have to demonstrate that you can figure things out with other people. So you can express that as you interview, how you take initiative, how you don't just take orders. They don't want just someone that copy things down to do it, but someone that thinks it through and takes initiative. And that kind of ties into my last point, that they want someone who thinks critically, because in coding, there's multiple ways you can do things that gets the same end result, but there's trade-offs for each one. So you have to understand the trade-offs with how it's done and communicate that to other people to show that you thought it through. It's like, for example, one simple way is that you follow conventional standard of what's previously been done to do what you're currently doing. So you need logic of why you want to do this. So in these interviews, if they give you a coding project, live coding, you want to communicate your thought process to them so they can understand how you go about doing things. And you can also display this through your GitHub, through your portfolio, and show how you talk about how you organized your code, how you designed your code, what trade-offs you made, why you did things certain this way. And you communicate by writing this up in the documentation to support the code you have. So those are the three main things that I wish I've learned, that you want to be somebody that you want to code with, that you want to work with. You want to be able to take initiatives on the projects you've done. And then you have to be able to communicate to others, understand trade-offs, and explain your reasoning to other people. Thank you so much for watching today. Stay tuned for more videos as I talk about the journey, talk about coding, business, and traveling.